Sometimes the greatest miracles don't come from doctors or billion-dollar machines. They come from the tiny hands of children. The sound of twisting metal was deafening. Tires screeched, glass shattered, and then silence. The wreckage of the midnight crash lay smoldering under the cold glow of downtown street lights. Firefighters worked frantically to pry open what remained of a black SUV. Its frame bent like origami. Inside, Dr. Victoria Ryan, once hailed as the Iron Will of American medicine, lay unconscious, her ditch-singer heels stained with blood, her perfectly pressed suit soaked with gasoline and rain. Within hours, headlines flooded the news. Breaking: Ryan Medical CEO in critical condition after high-speed collision. A week later, she awoke in a sterile, whitewashed room at Ryan Medical, the very hospital she had built from the ground up. Except now she was no longer its ruler, only its patient. She blinked against the light. Nothing. Darkness, static. "Victoria, can you hear me?" a nurse asked, gently checking her pulse. "I'm not deaf," Victoria whispered, her voice brick-cool. "Why is it so dark in here?" The nurse hesitated. It's not dark, ma'am." Victoria's breath caught in her throat. Her body felt strange, disconnected. She couldn't move her legs, couldn't feel the sheet under her knees. Her hands trembled as she reached toward her face, but even that motion was sluggish. Foreign, blind, paralyzed, silent. For the first time in her life, Victoria Ryan had no control. Since the accident, everything had changed. She was no longer the powerful CEO, but a patient in a wheelchair, dependent on others for even the simplest tasks. Her one pristine reputation was now tarnished by whispers of her incapacitation. The hospital walls still bore her name in gold, but now she was just another chart, another diagnosis. It was in one of those unremarkable corridors, Tile Hall C, Floor 2, where everything began to change. The intern pushing her paused to answer a page just for a moment. But it was enough. The wheelchair shifted, then slowly started rolling, the right wheel snagging on the edge of the cleaning trolley. Victoria didn't scream. Her hands fumbled for the brakes. She couldn't find them. Her body leaned forward, unable to correct itself, and then a hand. Not panicked, not clumsy, steady, firm, familiar. "I've got you," came a calm voice. Deep, measured, a voice that had no fear of silence. She felt his grip before she registered his face. A man, mid-40s, with shoulders like a retired soldier, and eyes like someone who'd seen too much to judge anyone. He wore a janitor's uniform, sleeves rolled up, the faint smell of citrus cleaner clinging to his collar. Behind him, 3 small girls peeked from behind the mop cart. Triplets, 8, maybe 9 years old, same dark eyes, same quiet curiosity, all holding notebooks far too complex for their age. The man gently steadied her chair, checking the brakes with muscle memory. "No harm done," he said softly, almost to himself. "Thank you," Victoria murmured, trying to sound composed as if she still had authorities. He nodded, offered a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes, then pushed his cart down the hall without another word. The girls trailed behind him like shadows, but one of them lingered for half a beat. Emily, the eldest of the 3 by minutes, tilted her head, eyes scanning Victoria, not with pity but with clinical observation. She leaned toward her sisters and whispered just loud enough for her father to hear. "Something's wrong. Her medication's off. She's not blinking right," Lily added. "And her left hand keeps twitching. Nerve misfire." Emily nodded quietly, noting the hair's height setting and her postures off center. "She's not being rotated enough. Her spine's going to lock." Harris paused mid-step. He didn't correct them. He didn't encourage them either. He just kept walking. But Victoria, though she couldn't see them, had heard the voices. She couldn't make sense of it. Kids whispering about neuromuscular dysfunction like seasoned specialists. What kind of children spoke like that? And more importantly, what kind of janitor raised them? That night, in the janitor's supply room turned living space in the basement wing, Harris sat on a stool, eating beans from a dented tin while his daughter circled around an open anatomy textbook. "Dad," Emily asked softly, "can we help her?" "She's not our responsibility," Harris replied without looking up. "But she's not being treated right," Lily added. "They're over-mediating her." Emily chimed in. "She's scared, Dad. Even her voice sounds like she's holding her breath." Harris looked up then, slowly, not in anger, but with a quiet weariness. "She's not someone you help lightly," he said. "That woman built an empire from cold steel and discipline. She doesn't need sympathy, she doesn't," Emily said gently. "She needs someone to see her." That stopped him just for a second. He closed the tin, wiped his hands on a towel, and in the silence that followed, the seed was planted.